allows them to integrate well with other breeds. Golden laced Wyandottes. With a decent laying potential of up to 200 good-sized brown eggs per year, these hens are perfectly suited to free-range conditions due to their excellent foraging capabilities. They tend to become broody and can therefore produce enough chicks to sustain and grow your flock. We hope you have enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe. Till next time.
Dito po tayo ngayon sa previous one. Ako ay bago talaga dito. So yan po ay kanilang rest house. Nag-reference po sila. Kung saan po ay under the mango po ang kanilang area. Galing sila doon sa kanilang rest house. Kasi nila, palabas nila, dito sila kapunta sa itong range area. So ito po yung mga parent stock. So sila po yung nagpo-produce ng egg for production. So, yan. So yung division nila ay mayroong mga indigo sila at the same time may malunggay. Ang ibang mga manok po ay dito po ang kanilang area. So may panak po ito. So ito po mga for breedable. So dito nila ilalagay. And yung mga brewer po nila, yung 45 days old, yan po ang kanilang area. So may indigo sila po ito. Division para sa kanila. And ang indigo sila po ay napakainam din po na ipapakain natin doon sa ating mga alagang manok. Sapagkat ito po ay napaka-rich in protein po itong indigo sila. So itong indigo sila ay parang mukha ito ng Madrid cacao or residual cyclium. So, yan po ang mga protein source nila. Yun, you can see. So, yun po ang ibang mga halaman din na kanilang pinapakain dito sa farm nila. Oh, source of protein din po nila yan. Ito po ang tira. Napapalata sila kumain sa tira. Ang mga palatandaan ko nila ay kapag mayroong mga white leg band ay yun po ang mga babaeng yung mga black na van, leg van, black leg van, ay ito po yung mga black na manok. So, yan po ang ginagawa nila para easy to identify po yung mga sex. And during sa distribution po, mas mapadali na nilang i-distribute yung mga manok. So, through leg van. Alright.
Manok lang po sa ikiwalay. Mabaling ba si Tesda?
Yung mga manok doon sa kanilang bahay during this relays. Product Safety and Quality Peaks of Excellence Program, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This presentation is brought to you by Auburn University Department of Poultry Science, with funding provided by Poultry Product Safety and Quality Peaks of Excellence Program, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
When a hen is actively laying, nutrients from the food she eats are converted into the building blocks of egg yolk. These building blocks, 1/3 protein, 1/3 fat, and 1/3 water, are then carried by the bloodstream from the liver to the ovary. In the ovary, tiny tissue bags called follicles fill with yolk and grow. The largest follicle on the ovary will release the yolk of the egg the hen will lay tomorrow, while the next largest will produce the next day's yolk, and the next largest will yield the next day's yolk, and so on. In 1 to 2 weeks, a follicle grows from less than 1 millimeter in diameter to the mature size of 25 millimeters. When a yolk matures, the follicle ruptures along a line relatively free from blood vessels, the stigma, and the yolk is released. If any blood vessels cross the stigma, a drop of blood may spot the yolk as it is released from the follicle. Called the infundibulum, the funnel-shaped upper end of the oviduct envelops the ovary and catches the most mature follicle as it reaches maturation and ovulates. Then the yolk embarks on a 24-hour journey down the oviduct. When the yolk emerges from the follicle and moves into the upper part of the infundibulum, it's the only time in its progress when it is not covered by a layer of albumin. Fertilization, if it is to occur, will take place here. Some bacterial pathogens, such as Salmonella enteritidis, are able to colonize the reproductive tract of infected hens. If these bacteria become associated with the developing egg as it passes along the tract, and before it is surrounded by a shell, they can cause disease in the human consumer of the contaminated yolk or albumin. The yolk spends about 15 minutes in the infundibulum before it passes into the magnum. In the magnum, over a period of about 3 hours, it will be covered by a thin, shock-absorbing layer of albumin, or egg white. As the albumin forms around the yolk, spiral ridges which run the length of the magnum cause the yolk to spin like a bullet in a rifle barrel. This spinning twists the protein fibers in the albumin, just in front of and just behind the yolk, and makes 2 pigtail-like structures called the chalaza. The chalaza keeps the yolk suspended at the center of the albumin, and ultimately prevent it from moving around inside the yolk. The magnum gives way to the next section of the oviduct, the isthmus. Here, the shell membranes are deposited. These thin layers of protein wrap loosely around the albumin and the yolk. It is as though the yolk and its layer of albumin are a blob of jello, wrapped with 2 sheets of cellophane. The process does not result in a smooth egg-shaped structure. In fact, an egg leaving the isthmus probably looks more like a prune than a plum. fully formed egg then enters the shell gland. Here, over the next 20 hours, the shell will form. First, a thin albumin is secreted. This thin albumin is mostly water, and it moves by osmosis through the two shell membranes into the highly concentrated thick albumin surrounding the yolk. This plumps the egg into a normal shape and stretches the shell membranes tight around it. Next, a highly concentrated solution of calcium carbonate is secreted by the shell gland, and crystals of calcite form and grow on the outer shell membrane. As the crystals expand, they grow into one another to form a solid shell. Very tiny spaces left in between the crystals leave pores in the shell. Lastly, a special protein solution, called the cuticle, is deposited onto the eggshell. Gas can pass through the proteinaceous cuticle and through the pores in the shell, but the two layers protect the egg from harmful bacteria. Finally, a process called oviposition. The egg flips end over end. This occurs through contractions of the uterus, synchronized with relaxation of the muscular vagina, and pushes the egg out of the hen's body. An important part of the egg does not form until after it is laid. When an egg is laid, it fills the shell. However, a hen's body temperature is 106 degrees Fahrenheit, and eggs are generally laid into environments that are 20 to 40 degrees cooler. As the egg cools, the inner portion contracts and forms an air cell between the two shell membranes. A chick would puncture and breathe through the air in this cell before hatching. The fully formed egg now begins another journey. If it has been fertilized, it will go to a hatchery. If not, it will go to one of two places: an egg processing and packaging plant for distribution to grocery stores, or to an egg breaking plant, where once processed, the egg will be included in one of countless food products, such as mayonnaise, cake mixes, or salad dressings.
Welcome you to one more of my videos about chickens. This time to talk to you about the good nutrition that a laying hen must have at home and on the farm, or wherever you want to have it. Although, to begin with, we could say, chickens eat a wide variety of things. Some aspects need to be emphasized. First of all, the hen's digestive system is divided into basically 4 phases. The first phase is storage and is called crop, where food is stored and mixed with saliva. The crop looks like a bulge from the outside, and it is easy to feel full of food just by touching it with your fingers. Number 2 is in the proventriculus, where the food mixes with its juices and subsequently passes to the gizzard. The gizzard is the crusher. It is a muscular organ full of pebbles, and at number 4 are the intestines, which end in the cloaca. The cloaca is the hole where the feces and urine come out together. After this, we can now see the different things chickens can eat. What are the best things I can give my chickens? Commercial food is supposed to be a food that covers all the nutritional needs of these cute little animals, but to get the best out of your beautiful chickens and make them feel happier and healthier, it is necessary to supplement their diet with other things. You should know that a hen needs to have food available that provides the following: protein, so the chicken develops well and becomes strong. That also helps them lay eggs. Fats and carbohydrates that provide energy. Vitamins to prevent diseases. And also minerals, such as calcium and phosphorus, so the eggs are strong and have a good shell. Of course, water is essential because a hen can drink between 1/4 and 1/2 liter of water a day. For this reason, it is very important they always have clean water so that diseases do not spread. For this reason, on this YouTube channel you can find different types of drinkers and feeders for poultry, in addition to being homemade. designed to improve hygiene for our beloved and beautiful chickens. But apart from the commercial feed for laying hens, it is important to supply it with both whole and ground corn, which gives different degrees of assimilation. And in addition to this, the good news is that you can include things like grass of different sizes in the diet. You can also use grass cut from your garden. You can use spinach, cabbages, coriander, chard, green and tender leaves, all of which give vitamins to chickens naturally, and this way you don't have to go to buy commercial vitamins. You can also give chickens sunflower seeds, peanuts, sorghum, soybeans. In this way you are giving fat to your birds. The fat is very necessary. The chickens also eat leftovers from the kitchen. For example, if you have some salads, onions, beans, lentils, rice, tomatoes, potatoes, yuccas, all that is super beneficial. Chickens are very efficient food grinders. This will make them happy. Chickens are very, very smart. They know what they need, and that is why they dig in the ground to find insects, larvae, worms from which they will obtain proteins and fats, and they will also peck the floor in search of minerals. Something very interesting is, you can recycle the eggshells that come out of the kitchen. We put the eggshells to dry in the sun, and when they are toasted, we proceed to crush until they are like grains of sand of 1 or 2 millimeters. In this way we can mix this element to the feeding of chickens to provide the necessary calcium. When we do this, chickens keep laying beautiful eggs for much longer. Crushed calcium can be added to commercial foods that we get in stores. Commercial concentrates are supposed to be created from plant-based raw materials, but it is also easy for many factories to include animal products such as fish meal, powdered milk, and dried blood as a protein source. Let's also remember the use of garlic and water, which is a super powerful fruit in many ways, as I have already mentioned in another of my videos, where I teach you how to use it perfectly. So, if we look at the great variety of food that can be given to chickens, we also understand that the monetary costs of having chickens at home go down a lot. Chickens can be kept in a hen all day, but the best way to raise chickens is to allow them to leave the hen house and can graze in a more or less free area. Don't forget that these birds are very good at climbing trees and making great jumps. So if a hen runs away from the fence and you have ornamental plants or a garden nearby, I guarantee that your hen will not be able to resist the temptation to go to those beautiful plants, and will surely destroy the leaves of some of them. She will dig in your garden, scattering a lot of dirt. Chickens must be provided with elements that bring them closer to their nature, so that they are happier and healthier, which will be reflected not only in a large number of eggs, but also in their quality. Regarding the consumption of grass, make sure the forage comes from a place free from the transit of other animals, because some animals urinate in the grass very frequently. And the pasture to feed chickens must be very clean. The use of grasses treated with pesticides or insecticides is prohibited. I recommend using a plant called Portulaca. This plant is a superfood and grows anywhere. It contains more omega-3 fatty acids than any other known vegetable. It has many vitamins, minerals, including calcium. It is strange that it is not used frequently. It is acidic. It really is a superfood even for human beings, and it can also be given to chickens. It is great. It is also possible to create concentrated animal feed in your home. There are several videos on YouTube. I have seen them and they seem very valuable. They offer them a fairly balanced diet, using plant material from your area, so it can be free for you. But
Ma'am, tayo Ferson beer.
Bakit? Kayo, ikaw ang nagkuhan? Ito na nag-live. Alam ko na lang sa live.
Shout out sa lahat. Sorry. Bye-bye na agad. Thank you. Bye-bye.